introduce us. You ready?
Yeah, let's get it. Let's get it.
All right, what's up? It's AGB here. We love hip hop. We got my mans here. We got another episode of Montreal Connected with M.O.T. What's up, fam?
Hey.
Anybody know I'm taking off? I got visions of getting bags off my writtens.
What's good, man? Thanks for having me.
No worries, no worries. So the first things first, we got to ask, what does M.O.T. stand for?
So it stands for Moment of Truth. That's what. That's something I had a long time ago when I was a lot younger. I was just truth, and then when I was thinking about eventually if I had a full band together, the band would be called Moment of Truth. And then when I started branding myself in the past 2 years, I just figured out a way to just shorten it. I just made it M.O.T.
Okay,
so
awesome.
That's the short version of a long version. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it makes sense. All right, so let's give everyone like a little bit of a view of who you are. So let's not so much focus on music right away, but give me like a quick history of like who you are, where you grew up, like introduce people to yourself.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm from Chamonix. It's a little bit outside of Montreal, a couple minutes outside. Not too far into Laval, where some people think there's like the typical stigma of Laval. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I've been here my whole life. I grew up here. I've been almost on the same street. Like, you know, we moved maybe one time, and I've been in the same area my whole life pretty much. And, you know, it's just come from regular, like, lower middle class type upbringing, like, you know, single parent type shit, you know, just that kind of story, and just found music and been doing that since high school. That's been my passion since high school. And never really went into pursuing anything else. You know, I kind of just been working 9 to 5 since high school, been bouncing around job to job, you know, the typical like starving artist type shit, you know?
Mm-hmm. Okay, awesome. So let's get into the music now. I kind of want to know, how did your musical journey start out? Like, how did you first start putting music out? What made you want to do that? Kind of tell us about that.
It's I've been doing music, I guess, since high school, like early high school, like Sec 1, Sec 2. And me and my boy would just, you know, it wasn't, the quality was terrible. You know, the music itself was probably terrible, but we were pumping out those CDs and passing it around the school and just like getting a little buzz in the school like that, you know? And It just started from just kind of being introduced to rock as a kid and growing up on rock and kind of seeing that, look, I'm never going to be like that great of a singer as the singers that I look up to. So when I hit the teenage years, you know, and you just want to rebel a little bit, you find hip hop, and it was kind of like, it was over from there, you know? Just started writing bars, and then eventually, you know, you start recording and just putting it out. Took a long time, I have to say, it took a long time to find my sound or my voice. You know, the first like 10 years of me making music was pretty rough.
Yeah, so I can see that through the years, your music has definitely changed a lot. Like, if I'm right, like early on, you were definitely super rock influenced, and I feel like you still are, but the hip hop has become more of the bass with the rock influence in it. Am I right about that?
Definitely, because I just found that it was digested easier, or people were able to digest it easier. The rock stuff was received like people weren't sure how to, you know, they were like, yeah, this is cool, this is different, but, you know, don't know where to like put it or whatever. And it's not like nothing's new under the sun, you know what I mean? There's all kinds of great rap, rock, like, you know what I mean, things like that. But
Yeah,
in the city specifically, yeah, it helped me stand out a little bit. But I noticed when I started releasing more of the 808 driven, hip hop driven stuff, people were just gravitating towards it more. And I was just like, I just had a little switch. I mean, I'm always going to still put out some little rock inspired stuff, but it's definitely, and they were like dark songs too. You know what I mean? Like it was that kind of vibe. So I noticed that certain people would gravitate towards them, but others were kind of like skeptical of it or a little standoff with it. And I think, you know, that's just, hip hop is easier for people, like I said, to digest the catchy beat and the catchy hook. And if you can sprinkle in actual bars and like a message in between the catchy hook and the catchy beat, you know what I mean? That's what I think.
Facts.
that's what I think I do well, because you know, if you just have the catchy hook and you're just repeating the same thing over and over, there's no substance to it, right?
Yeah.
So I like to think that I found a nice balance of the catchy hooks, but substance, you know what I mean? And always lyrics first and foremost, you know what I mean?
Yeah, facts. Okay, so how would you describe your style of rap? And I'll even ask the question a little deeper, right? If someone asked you, what kind of rapper are you? What would you tell them? Like, what kind of description would you give? Because I have a hard time putting you in a specific box, but where do you put yourself?
I mean, I used to say like an alternative rapper when I was doing more of the rock stuff, but now I just say like you know, just a typical hip hop, like bars first, you know. I'm not like a backpack rapper, but man, it's even hard for myself to kind of explain it, you know what I mean? I would say it's melody driven, you know, but lyrical driven, and but like new school, not too stuck on the old school. Cause you know, some guys just, they want to do bars. But like I said, there's nothing catchy. There's nothing that people want to come back to or sing along to. So
Yeah.
I think I'm just trying to find that nice mix of putting out stuff that's catchy, but also like I said, with substance. So it's hard to explain it, man. It's hard.
Yeah,
I
I
know
feel that.
I have a lot of different inspirations, you know what I mean? From Eminem and Yellow Wolf to Tech Nine and like Bone Thugs and Harmony, you know what I mean? Like there's just it's everywhere. And then The Rock is also, it's everywhere. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So that kind of leads into my next question. I was going to ask you who your biggest influences are. I know you just named a few. If you had to pick three people that influenced you the most musically, who would you pick?
Fuck.
It could be rock, rap, anything. Just influenced you.
So
You
like
know what I'm saying?
in no particular
Yeah,
order,
no.
in no particular order, I have to say, just off the top of my head, Eminem. That's the first dude who made me want to write bars. It was the first dude that obviously like you relate with when you listening to certain things that he's talking about. As a white kid, you're just like, okay, I can relate to that type shit. You know what I mean? I have to say Chester Bennington from Linkin Park. And then I would say it's a tie between Jonathan Davis of Korn and Eddie Vedder of Pearl Jam.
Okay, well, we'll say four. So you got four there.
Yeah, it's a tie between that. I said creatively maybe a little bit more of the Korn, Jonathan Davis, but Eddie Vedder is like my favorite singer.
Yeah, I definitely see some Linkin Park in your style and stuff like
Yeah,
that. Like it's
like I wish.
definitely there.
Yeah, I got Chester up there. I got a nice portrait of Chester over there. Like I wish I had that type of singing ability. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That guy's just like a god. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, he's got his abilities. You got yours. So I mean, that's
Yeah,
just
no,
the way.
for sure.
That's just what you got.
For sure, I'm just finding, you know, my lane, and you know what I mean.
All right. Yeah. So all right. So let's talk about your more current music, right? Okay. So I want to ask you, out of all your songs, what do you think is your biggest release, and what's your favorite release? Meaning, which one did the most numbers, and which one are you like, yeah, this one I love. This one's like my joint, you know?
Okay. I think the one that got the biggest pop was Nice Things.
Wanna Ford, wanna pull up in a white range. I like things that's out my price range. Hey,
I think that was the one that got people like, oh, okay. I had certain people saying like, oh, okay, he's coming with a little bit of different flavor with this one, and it was the first time me putting out like that type of record of me showing my aspirations on the record, saying what I want, what I like. Before that record, it was a lot of just like dark stuff and a lot of just in my head stuff, and you know, or just straight bars. That was the first one and it got a good. That was the first one before I lost my Instagram, before I got my new one. That was the first one when you know, you're checking your insights or whatever, and like I started to see finally like, oh, this one's actually like the comments was nice, the views was nice, the all the, you know what I mean, that interaction that you wanted was finally starting to build up. The shares was going crazy. I was like, okay, this is. So I built off that. I'm like, okay, people like this, you know what I mean? And I was very like hesitant about putting that out because I wasn't sure. I'm like, yo, how are people gonna react to this? Because some of the earlier music was, you know, the complete opposite of I just want some nice things. I want J's, I want chains, man. I like rings.
Yeah.
It's the opposite, but it's so truthful and it's so me. And in between all those materialistic type bars, there's there's the real, there's the substance, and there's the me talking about my upbringing with my mom, and me talking about my boys and like, and just what I want in life. You know what I mean? So
And the
that one,
video was good too.
yes, yeah. Shout out for the show. That's my guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one I feel like got a nice pop.
And which one was your favorite at all your releases?
It's hard, man. It's hard.
Like, here's an easy way to put it too. Which song, out of all your songs that are out, which one do you listen to the most?
Out of all the ones that are out, I don't listen to them anymore, to be honest. But if I'm gonna go back and listen to them, I'm really proud of the latest one, 2023.
Window down and blow the smoke through. Baby, I'ma tell you now, I ain't most dudes.
It was just like a little freestyle type thing that I put out. It was like the last week. But obviously I'm super proud of Visions with King K. Like that one, I'm super proud of that one because I put a lot into that video. Like, I made it as big as possible, and that one got a nice reaction too. That one got a nice reaction too, and I always give King K love for like, he offered when I lost my Instagram. He was like, "Yo, let's put out our record, and that way my people can tap in with you." And I was like, "Yo, I appreciate the fuck out of that. Like, you didn't have to do that. Let me first try to get at least like 200 followers back." You know what I mean? And then with a little bit of something, then we'll put it out, you know? But he's so much like of a good dude that he was just willing to, as soon as I lost my shit, he was like, "Yo, let's put it out." And I was like, "Yo, thank you. I appreciate that. But we're going to wait on it a little bit." And we did. And then we went out, did the interview with DMS, and we premiered it with Feezy. That was actually a dope moment for me, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Premiering it there with DMS, with Feezy, and having him there and dropping it at midnight and everything with the interview. That was a dope moment.
Yeah.
So I'm super proud of that song and that video. But I just find nice things got me like that boost. Vision just kept it going. Visions just kept it going, you know?
But definitely
every time I perform Visions, like it goes off live. Everybody loves that one live. Yeah.
Okay, so that even leads perfect right into my next question. I know you've done a decent amount of shows. I wanted you to kind of just talk to me about that. Talk to me about some of the shows you've done and what that's like for you.
Yeah, so the past year or so has been good. I've been really thankful to all these people reaching out and asking me to do shows because that's really what I love doing. You know, like I used to do little bars, like me and my boy would go do little karaoke bars maybe, or just like, I just like doing that stuff. I like as soon as there's a mic in my hand, I like it. You know what I mean? I'm super like introverted and maybe like shy, quiet or whatever. But as soon as it's time to go, like I'm ready to go with the mic, you know?
Yeah, you go into character.
Yeah, so it's just like, I don't know, it's just like something, you know, in the typical, like something takes a little, you know what I mean? Something takes a little typical corny shit, but it's really true because I'm not that person who in the room is the loudest one, like da-da-da, but then when the mic comes, like I'm the loudest one on the stage, I'm screaming in the mic, I'm telling people, "Yo, put your hands up, like, why are you standing like that? You too cool, put your hands up." Like I'm going at, for some reason, when the mic's in my hand, it's like I'm ready to go, but then without it, I'm just like,
yeah, but it's because you care about your craft and you know how important stage performance is, right? Nothing wrong with that. All right, so let's talk about your first show, your first ever show. How did that happen and how did that go?
My first show was at a high school, like a Christmas breakfast or some shit like that.
Dope.
You know, in the first period, everybody gets first period off, and you're just having like everybody's in the calf or whatever, you know, and all the grades are there, the Sec 5s, the seniors, everybody's there. I think I was in Sec 3 or Sec 4 at the time, you know, so the whole school's there in the calf, and my boy dragged me up to do it, and man, was I like heart pounded out of my chest, like palms sweaty, mom spaghetti, the whole thing, you know what I mean? Like it was terrible. It was terrible. I did the typical like rapping at the floor, just trying to look like Eminem type shit. Like it was yelling into the thing. It was terrible, you know, but it got me that first taste of like, I think I might. Even though I hated it in the moment, I'm like, this is terrible. You know, all the cool kids are looking at you, all the hot girls are looking at you, and you're just like, I don't know, you know what I mean? But in time, I developed the love for it and the taste for it. I just started doing it more and more and more, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's very rare that anybody's first show is an amazing experience in terms of performance.
Some people have that performer in them where they just get on a stage.
Yeah,
you know, those kids in elementary school doing drama and shit, they're just like, they're ready to perform or whatever, but that wasn't me. I was super shy. I was just like, I didn't know how to do it. And then after that, my school would do these little like, I guess like talent shows at night or whatever. It was like once a month, you know, a night of music or comedy or poetry or whatever the fuck it was. Like, so I started doing that, and that's how I started getting a little bit of love in school with like certain crowds, like not even necessarily like the cool crowds or whatever, because sometimes the kids that would go to those things, the band kids and those type, you know what I mean? They started like, they started showing me love for my music because I was talking about things that they were relating to or whatever. And that's how I started getting a little thing in high school. So I always remember those moments. I remember like people coming to me and like saying certain things. I was like, okay, I think I can get better at this. You know what I mean? It wasn't that great. People were telling me it was good, but looking back, you know, it wasn't
But
nothing.
it's always better the person who's willing to give you constructive criticism than the person who's just going to tell you something's great when you know it's trash.
Yeah.
You know, you're never going to get anywhere with those people. So it's good that you had that around you.
Yeah. And
All
then
right,
the first time like performing like downtown in the actual city, that's like a whole other type of thing too, you know, like.
Well, if you want to get into that, we got time. Go ahead if you want to tell that one.
Honestly, I think my first one, shout out my guy CY, bro. He put me on like to one of my.
Shout out CY.
Yeah, bro. Shout out CY, real shit. Like he put me on some of my first little shows, like Crowbar and I think Piranha Bar and then Blue Dog, all these little like first things, you know what I mean? And just always, yeah.
That's the first steps and first shows for all even the biggest English Montreal rappers, bro, started their shows there.
You know, and my first ones were, you know, there's maybe like 10 people there, you know, maybe 5 people there, but like I just did it because in my head it's like that's what you have to do, right? And then eventually I'm able to now like control a crowd or whatever. I guess from doing this little 5 people, like it helps. So I always show CY a lot of love just for doing that. You know, he does that for a lot of people. So shout out to him. Yeah.
Okay, so now let's go on. We talked about your beginning show, your first show in the city. What was your most memorable show? Like, what was your biggest, most memorable show? Have you done any openings that you with? Like, when you think about shows, what's the one that you think about?
The one I did last summer. I do believe it was last summer for DMS. Shout out to Feezy.
Shout out to him.
Big shout out to Feezy. He's really the first guy in the city that like gave me that like cosign, I guess. He gave me like my first interview on radio and everything. Like he really like showed me a lot of love and support for my music, like genuine support. He was telling me like, you know, certain things that I was like, damn, bro, like thank you. That shit means like everything to me. You know what I mean? To have somebody like who's so respected in the city, like who's so loved in the city to show me that type of love, I was like, you know, what else can I ask for type shit. So he put me on this show that was DMS versus Hit Story. It was like this battle of the platforms type thing. And so it was basically, you know, like I'll do 3 songs, the next artist will do 3 songs, and the crowd will choose the winner or whatever, you know. So that was one of my
that was fun.
That was a sick moment because I won my little battle or whatever. I won my little I won my 3 songs versus his 3 songs. You know, the crowd made a crazy reaction, and that reaction I've been searching for that reaction like ever since. You know what I mean? Like
that's nothing else lived up to it yet.
Like I'm searching for that again. I can't wait to get it again, and I can just imagine even bigger. You know, like. But that was a big moment for me. That was a big one.
Fam, wait till one of your tracks hits 100K views, and I guarantee you.
Oh my god, yeah, for sure.
You're gonna feel like you just did heroin, my guy.
Of course. Even when I hit my first 1K, I was like, yo.
Yeah. Me too. Back in the day in Montreal, like when I was rapping 10 years ago, when like my second song hit 1,000 views, I was like, yes. And it's like, bro, only in Montreal is it like that.
Yeah, you know, it's hard out here, man. I really feel like, you know, if we were somewhere else, it might be not as difficult to get shit rolling. You know? Like,
anyways, I got a couple more things I want to get into, but we definitely going to get into the aspects of being out here.
So much.
All right, so I know you did that feature with King K, right? King K is an alumni on our channel. He's got an interview with Friday. I just sort of tell us a story about that, how that came about. I know how you told us when you decided to release it, but what made you two get on a song together?
I knew I wanted a feature for that song. I knew I wanted it to be special. If I'm gonna have my first feature, I wanted it to be with somebody that I already have history with. And me and Kincaid go way back, like teenage years type shit. He spent some time out in Laval, so we were at similar high schools. Like his high school was right down the street from mine, so we knew similar people. He just knew similar people that I knew, and we were just always tied in since then. So I actually brought him to this little studio that we used to go to. It wasn't really a studio, it was just a friend's, bedroom or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
So we've been tied in since then, and I've been watching him just kill it, kill it, kill it. Always stay with his bars and just never like change up his shit. So I always just showed him like so much love and respect every time I saw him. Just like, yo, you're killing it, you're killing it, you're killing it.
Yeah.
And he would also like reciprocate. He's like, yo, I see you doing your thing. I see you doing your thing. I'm like, thank you, bro. Thank you. You know what I mean? And then so when this song came about, I just heard it in my head. I'm like, okay, this is the one, this is the time, this is the right moment, besides me getting like either some in-house like fan people, if it's gonna be a feature that is gonna be, people are gonna be like, oh shit. Cause not a lot of people know that we even go back, you know what I mean? So they're like, oh, that's different, you know what I mean?
No,
Or,
that song was a good look.
Like, oh, I wouldn't have saw that collab coming, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Listen to my other shit, you'd be like, oh. So I hollered at him and he came through and we did it at the crib and then shot the video and made it made that shit a movie,
Fire.
So super proud of that one. And every time we perform it together, we performed it together a couple times at like his birthday bash and here and there. Every time we perform it, it's high energy, it's all love, the crowd loves it. And we have a good chemistry when we do it. So that's the fam, man. Shout out King K, bro. That's the
shout
fam.
out to him, bro. So can we expect any more big features coming up this summer? You got anything planned, or you want to keep that close to the chest?
Nothing that I can like announce, but that's definitely like a goal of this summer, is to branch out a little bit and try to do some features with some artists. I did my first feature for someone, so I'm proud of that one. I'm waiting for it to come out. I don't know if you know the 4040 guys, the 4040 music.
I might. I'm notoriously bad with people's names. I need to see a face.
I know, but yeah. Anyways, they're doing the thing. They put on a big show at the Belmont, and they put me on that one too.
Nice.
They sold out the Belmont and fucking had me out on there. So that was blessed. So I'm looking forward to that one. Shout out Wild, shout out 4040, and I'm looking forward to that one. Besides that, I'm picky with my features because I don't want to just do stuff with people who I don't like. I don't want to just holler at somebody who I don't know. Just be like, yo, can you jump on my song? And
then it'll come out good.
Be like, yeah, sure. This is how much it costs. And it's like, I'm not there yet. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to do that. I'm not going to pay for a feature to get views and like, I'm not trying to do that right now. Right now, I'm trying to be more organic. So,
makes sense.
The only thing I can really announce, it's not much of an announcement, but like me and CY have a little something that like we're cooking up. I'm trying to like put it all together. I have something in mind for him. I already hollered at him, sent it to him. So I'm just like trying to put it all together. But that's something that's in the works, and that's something that makes sense to me because
so big CY feature on the way. CY, big dog, bro. You owe me one. You get on a track with him.
yeah, we're gonna work it out. Hopefully, he's gonna come through. You know what I mean?
No, he's gonna come through. I'll make him.
We're gonna work it out for sure.
All right, bro. So the next part I want to get into is you're the first rapper from Laval that I've interviewed, right? So you got that badge of honor. But I sort of want to talk about Laval a little bit, right? Because a lot of people, like, Laval gets overshadowed by Montreal, but people forget that Laval is the second biggest city in Quebec. And it's a river away, but it's an island here and Montreal's here, and there's just a river between them. So Montreal overshadows it. But like, so being that you're from Laval, what is the music scene like in Laval? Like, does it have its own music scene? I know some other rappers from over there, but I don't know what the scene's like out there.
I wouldn't say we have our own music scene because we're so close to the city that we share it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I can definitely say in the past few years, I've seen like this huge emergence of like French rappers out here, like dudes like in Saint Francois, like
like Ratch and all these people.
Like some dudes out there are getting busy,
and they're doing numbers too, bro.
They're doing crazy numbers. They really caught me off guard because I was like, yo, these guys are from Laval. When I first saw it, I was like, what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I always knew these type of dudes were around, you know, but I didn't like know they were doing music like that and popping off like that. And I was like,
Yeah.
so
So
they
you
have their own like the French shit right now, Laval, Montreal. They have their own like culture and their own vibe going on
yeah.
right now, you know. So like, it's I'm an English dude, but I respect it. You know, they're doing their thing, they're getting paid, so it's just good, you know.
So you would say since all the stuff is in Montreal, Laval doesn't have its own scene. It has a part of the Montreal scene, right? Like it
Yeah,
plays.
yeah, you can't. Yeah, I wouldn't
Makes
really say.
sense.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's its own scene because everybody, if you're out here, you're doing shows downtown. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like, you got Laval, you got like the East End, you got the West, you got the different parts of the Montreal, you got the Southwest. So it's like it's its own part. That makes a lot of sense. The one other
Yeah,
thing I
'cause
wanted
we're
yeah,
we're
go.
literally like, you know, I'm one bus away. Back in the day, I'd take one bus from here and get to CV in 15 minutes. You
Exactly, yeah.
know, or like the Chappelle Bridge. You know, you can just walk over. Like I've always been. That's why I always felt like when I'd go kick it in Montreal, there'd be dudes, oh, you from Laval, you rich area, Oh, you probably, I'm like, bro, it's not all like that over here. Like, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
I know it's mostly like that. And trust me, I went to a high school where it was all of that. Like my first experience taking a bus and going to another area of Laval to like do some like, when you have like a project with somebody in school, you got to go to their house and do some
Mm-hmm.
shit, you know? So my first experience of seeing other places of Laval, I was like, damn, like what the, like mansions.
Yeah.
So it's like, I understand the stigma, but it's just like anywhere else, man. We got regular people living below regular, you know what I mean? We got everything that everybody else got just on a little smaller scale because it's
Yeah.
small, you know what I mean?
So my last question about Laval, and you kind of half answered it, but I just want to go a bit deeper. Being from Laval, and I'm not just talking about like you go hang out with homies. I'm talking like strictly music wise. When you bring it over to Montreal, do more people embrace you, or more people go, what the fuck? It's Laval. He's either from the boonies or he's rich.
Yeah, nah, I think music wise, they don't trip on it anymore because they see me do my thing. And then when I say I'm from where I'm from, they're like, okay, yeah, whatever, that's cool. It was more back in the day when I was younger and I just go like, just kick it with people. They'd be like, or if they come down here, they'd be like, just little things like that. But
Yeah,
music wise, nah, I never received no hate or no like
that's
anything
good.
like that. Everybody show me love. Or when I say I'm from Chambly, they'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, Chambly's usually the one place that that you say to Montreal people that they'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, I know
Yeah,
Chambly.
yeah. I used to
Like,
go do a lot of chops in Chomedy.
trust me. Like we had the Recreate Tech for a long time before they tore that shit down and built condos. And that was like an iconic staple of Shamedy. And I was really happy to put that in one of my earlier videos. So I kind of have that like forever because, kids from the past couple of years, they won't even know what that place was. But people since the 80s or whatever, everybody knows Shamedy for the Rec,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was super proud to have that little piece of my childhood and you know what I mean my
yeah.
childhood and put it like cemented in time type of shit. So
Okay, cool. So we talked about the local stuff. Now I want to talk about. So I watched all your other interviews. I had to go do my research, and I've heard you say more than once that you kind of want to. I don't want to word it wrong, but you kind of want to move past Montreal, not forget about the city, but to be where you want to be, you need to move. You need to be able to achieve building a brand and building views and building fans
yeah,
outside of Montreal. When
yeah.
you say that, what do you mean by that? Like, and I don't say exactly what you mean. I say like, show us like what you see yourself in
I
terms
just
of that.
mean I just mean like eventually you have to get out to reach other places. Like it's an inevitable thing if you're on a certain path. You know what I mean? Like look at Nate Husser. Like you know what I mean? He's out of here. Like he's doing it now. He's in LA. He's doing it big. Like, but
Nate Husser's artificially big.
yeah, I don't know the details to it, but all I know is at least,
I do.
I don't know if whatever. All I see is at least he got out and he's making some moves out there because believe it or not, unfortunately, people will see him out there in LA doing something, and they'll be more likely to support him because they see him out there in LA doing something than us or whatever. Let's say me, I'm just here like it's hard, you know what I mean? It's hard to get people to even come to a show. You know what I mean? It's hard. They'll come to one, and then 2 months later, I'm like, yo, and they'll be like, no, I can't make it. But if they see me on the gram out in LA and they're gonna be like, yo, when's your next show when you come back?
For sure.
Unfortunately, it's like that here, where people don't want to support until you're already being supported somewhere else. Like if you're popping in Toronto, they're playing you here. You know what I mean? They're riding around in the car, they're playing you if you're popping in Toronto. Unfortunately, I don't know why it's like that here, but that's just what I've seen from forever, bro.
Well, go finish.
But yeah, I just feel like it's inevitable. It's necessary. All the artists that I look up to, when I hear them talk about what they had to do to make it, they all said, you have to get out of your city, get out of your state, get out of your whatever it is. You just have to. It's what you got to do. You have to build a little something, obviously. You know what I mean? Like I want to have a little base built, you know, but eventually I have to just. And then there's the whole language thing too. We can be talking here for an hour about that. Like opportunities that are for us here are so minimal. All we got to do is drive 2 hours to Ontario, drive a couple hours closer to Toronto, and all of a sudden there's all these opportunities that are not here. You can hit the west. You can hit the West Coast. You can hit Vancouver, and all kinds of opportunities that aren't here. Even being in Vancouver, you're a little bit closer to the States. There's more doors. Like you know what I mean. So it's just inevitable, and it's not something that I have against the city. It's just I always said I wanted to get out of this city, get out of this province since I was a kid, because I'm an Anglophone, and I just feel like this is not the place for me to be. You know what I mean? I got love for it. Like it's my home, but it's not where I see myself like being or like raising my children type shit. Like I'm trying to, you know.
Yeah, facts.
Get out of here type shit, you know?
Yeah, you honestly just answered like two of my next questions, so I'll go on to the other one here. So it's good, bro. It's good. When I don't got to ask the questions, you just answer them. It's perfect. So that means we're going good. All right, so what are the things you're doing to build your brand, build fans, and build a viewership outside of Quebec? So Toronto, the States, wherever. What are you doing, and what are you planning on doing to build that?
That's the goal of this summer. I think I'm really trying to get some shows in Ontario somehow. I got some people in Ottawa, so I'm reaching out over there and trying to make something happen over there, and then eventually, you know, take the steps. You know, Ottawa, do that, and then get to Toronto right after. As for the States, you know, all I can do really is promotion, maybe put the money in the right places to get it into the faces of people in the States. Like YouTube ads have been a little helpful, just throwing a little $20 on a YouTube ad and it'll get me in front of people that, you know, wouldn't usually see it, you know? So like things like that, I need to do a little bit more of, you know, put a little bit more money into promoting my music and just getting out there and networking more and just like, you know, that's really what I got to do this summer. That's my main goal. It's just, I'm such a homebody. I'm such an introvert, you know what I mean? But I got to get out there and network, you know what I mean? The only time is when I'm doing shows and interviews and things like that. That's when I feel like I'm out and about and talking to people. But other than that, I kind of just do my own thing. Like I'm not out.
Yeah, having said that you're someone who spends a lot of time at home, but you also want to grow your market, right? And all the things you're saying, I think, make a lot of sense, right? Have you considered maybe branching out in your social media a little bit and maybe adding new types of content to your YouTube or a TikTok or your Instagram? Because there's music-related content you can do that will get you American viewers. So have you thought about doing that at all?
TikTok is a big thing that I think I've been saying for the past year. I keep on telling people I need to do TikTok. I need to do TikTok. I need to get on TikTok. And people keep on telling me, you need to get on TikTok. You need to da-da-da. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. And I just never do it because the algorithm is so like, you got to post like 3-4 times a day. And it's just like, I'm not like about that life. Like I'm just not a posting type person. But I know that nowadays with social media, like you have to be. And I'm trying to be a little bit more like that on my IG. Like my IG is really the only thing that I really use to push my music and, you know, I'm starting to maybe show a little bit more into the behind the scenes, like when I'm shooting videos or studio or just like everyday life. But I'm really not that person who's always like filming something or like,
Yeah.
or if I am filming it, it's kind of like from my own personal, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I definitely need to do TikToks. I need to, just be more interactive with social media, like just just do what they say you
Yeah.
gotta. I just gotta suck it up. It's just because I'm not a social media person. I just gotta suck it up and kind of play the game, because
Yeah.
there's only so much like the mystique of, oh yeah, he doesn't post a lot. Like it works to a certain extent, but at some point people want to know like, yo, what are you about? Who are you like as a person?
Yeah.
So like I've been meaning to do that. Like this summer, I'm trying to like maybe like on IG, I'll just start posting more like regular everyday type shit when I'm just chilling or
Yeah. I mean, it seems a little overwhelming after the interview and shit. If you tap in with me, I could definitely give you advice on some of that stuff. Cause like, there's there's a few tips I could give you. I think would make it a lot easier for you. And I feel like you could grow a lot off of some of that stuff and make it easier than what you actually think it is. All right. So, now we're going to get in. I want to talk a little bit about, let's talk about the English and the French aspect. I like to do this with everyone who I have on my Montreal show, because we live in such a unique place where, we live in a big city, but the actual amount of people who are going to listen to English hip hop make it like we live in a small size city. So it's a very different landscape. So just kind of talk to me and tell me about what you see in the English and French and just whatever you want to say about it.
Well, definitely nowadays the French shit is more popping than it's ever been. Like they're doing numbers, they're selling out shows, they're doing their thing. So like I can't hate on it. You know what I mean? It's just has to do with where we are. Like when I'm driving around and I'm in traffic or whatever, I put down my window, turn down my music. The 16 or the 18-year-old who's driving or whatever with their friends and 4 people in the car, they're usually listening to like Enima or some type of shit like that.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. You hear Enema on the highway quite a bit.
Yeah, which is like fucking dope for him. Like great, you know what I mean? But it's something as an English artist that we're just always gonna have to battle, and we're just gonna like, it's something that you just have to deal with because that's where we are. You know what I mean? I don't know the specific math of it. I don't know how much English people are here compared to French, but I feel like when I go out, I'm like the English is like the minority. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's pretty much how I feel. Unless I'm in the West Island or I'm really downtown where it's like really like English everywhere. For the most part, like when I was younger trying to find jobs and stuff, it was always hard as an English speaker to find a job or do anything. You know what I mean? It's just, unfortunately, it's like that here. They look at you like, you know what I mean? If you say bonjour, hi, they look at you like, what? Like they're not trying to hear none of that,
Yeah, there's something to be said.
A certain percentage of them are, Miley, I'm busy right now, bro. Can you give me? my dog is like,
it's all good.
Go over there, bro. My bad. But it's just like, it just has to do with where we are, The more French people there are here, they're gonna listen to that. But then at the same time, they'll also be listening to Drake. You know what I mean? Like right after Enima will be Drake or J. Cole or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like they listen to the English shit. They love the English shit. They'll sing it word for word. But like I said, you got to be popping somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It'll take a while for the French people to support an English person from here. You know what I mean?
Facts, yeah. Big facts.
You know what I mean? So unfortunately, that's just what it is. Like, and it doesn't have all love and support to the French artists who are doing it. You know what I mean? This is their place. They're gonna take it over. You know what I mean? They can hit France and stuff like that. But I'm trying to hit the States, bro. I'm trying to hit, you know what I mean? Other places in Canada, pretty much anywhere else where we can do our, you know what I mean? We can do our thing anywhere else. I think it's harder for them because they can only do it here. You know what I mean? So they can flourish here and they can have it on lock here, like, but they're very limited also. Yeah. To where they can go and do a show. You know what I mean? So it's a double-edged sword type shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a different place, way different from anywhere else in North America. That's for
Different
sure.
place, bro. It's a really
Fucking
different
different as
place.
hell.
There's so many different cultures. Like there's the Quebecois culture, and then there's the, you know what I mean, like the English culture, or then there's the French immigrant culture. You know, they came here and then they learned French. There's like so many different
Yeah,
layers to it.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And
yeah.
bro, you're killing me. And that's what makes it blessed. That's what makes it great, you know. But it just makes it hard, man. It just makes it a little bit hard, you know, because some people are hard headed. Like I was a hard headed English kid who didn't want to like show no love to the French side or whatever, and I had to like spend a little bit of time with some French people and just like, you know, just to get to feel that love or whatever. Just to be okay, yo, we're just like we're all the same, you know what I mean? It's
So
just
what do
a
you
language.
so what do you feel as Montreal creators that we can do better? Because like you said, like you got to blow up outside of Montreal to blow up here. What do you think we can
Yeah.
do better as Montreal creators to help grow the local talent, grow the local scene, and grow the local spotlight?
I think we just gotta support our own artists a little bit more, you know, like put on for them, like organizing shows and, you know what I mean, putting on for a local artist instead of trying to get somebody from somewhere else to come here and do the show, you know what I mean? Or even for, I don't know the specifics of it, but I know the French artists now, they're starting to get money from the government, I do believe. I don't know what the exact name of that is.
I heard something about that. I don't know exactly how it works,
Me
but
either. I don't know the specifics of it, but all I know is that that's starting to happen because I know in Toronto or whatever, you can,
to
you
add a
know,
caveat to that, I'm pretty sure you have to be like, Enema is not going to get money from the government with the type of music he has. Like, you have to be like real clean cut, and like you have to probably be approved, and you know, so it's probably like even if me and you went to
a lot
France,
of us
it's
are
probably
getting
not
no
happening.
grants.
Yeah.
But no, man, I just think they just got to do whatever they would do for somebody who's not from here. Just show that love, you know what I mean? But then it also has to be, the music has to be good too, you know? If the music's good and then the support can really, like, if the people feel like, yo, I can really support this and I can push this, and they just got to get behind it and really do that, you know?
Yeah, big facts.
It's simple. It's just it starts from just sharing the videos, you know what I mean, on IG. Just share the shit or play it around your friends. Just share a link. Like small things like that, like make the biggest difference to us, you know. And I don't think some people understand, like, but if I have a little handful of real fans that I appreciate the fuck out of, and they always are the constant ones showing love, I don't know if they realize how much they can help me by just like, yo, if you can show it to one more person that feels the same way that you feel about it, you just helped me out. You just grew my shit. Like, you know what I mean? If everybody does that, one person, I'm like, you guys just grew my 50% out the, you know what I mean? You just doubled my shit. So I think people take for granted how much they can do for an artist. You know what I mean?
No, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Part of why I'm here with We Love Hip Hop is because, like, you know, I did so much with my own YouTube, but like I was a Montreal rapper back in the day, and I was like, yo, I can get some advantage for myself with We Love Hip Hop and be put in positions, but I could also, you know, give a lot to my city and be able to offer a lot to people, and you know, put them on a platform with 23,000 subscribers. You know what I'm saying? Like, not everybody gets to do that every day out in Montreal. So hopefully we can keep building it and it gets better. So I've really enjoyed this interview. I got one last question for you, a quick, easy one. Who's your top 3 Montreal rappers?
Oh man, like
And
right now,
it doesn't have to be biggest. Like someone asked me recently, and I put CY on my list. So
yeah, I don't know. I'm not really like I'm not a big like connoisseur of the Montreal hip hop scene. Like when I was a kid, you know, I knew like the 1-2 names. You know, like there's a lot of dudes in the city that are doing it that I don't know of. You know, so you know, I don't know. I gotta say that guy Nate. Just from what I see, he seems to be like doing big things. You know. I fuck with his music. It's not. He's got a little something going on. It's not like the typical stuff. He has his own little.
Yeah.
Like I fuck with that. I gotta put my guy King K. He's on fire. He's killing it. You know what I mean? And for a third, man, it's hard for me. Like, am I talking about favorite? Like just who I with, or who am I? Like, am I talking about skill? Like, what am I?
Anything, whatever you want to put him on there for. Like, what are the three you with the most? Whether it's skill wise, numbers wise, just they're your homie, you just with their movement, whatever.
Man, it's hard to think of that. It's hard to think of that, man. There's not too many that I really like that I'm close with, you know, like circle small type shit. You know, out of love, I'll put CY on there too, bro. Out of love. You know what I mean? Just out of respect, bro, I'll put him on there.
Well, listen, like when I did my list, I put two people who are way bigger than CY, but I put CY as third on the list because of just all the stuff he does for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because some of these other big people get their first shows from him. You know?
Exactly.
So definitely
Who is your top three?
Who did I say? So my number one was Bilo the Kid. Like that's my homie, and he was like the first English rapper to touch hundreds of thousands of views. Right. I think I put K-Bands. Yeah, I put K-Bands on there because he's really doing his thing right now.
Yeah, K-Bands.
I did four, so I put CY and I put one other that I can't remember right now.
Okay.
Yeah, CY was number three, so that was mine. And like CY's numbers aren't the same as the other two, but like I feel like his influence is there too, you know?
Yeah, he's done his thing, man. And then like, man, I'll be a little biased, man. I'll put myself in there, you know what I mean? Because I fuck with myself, like I fuck with my music heavy. I'm really like, I've really learned to be not too like, you know, proud and like, what's the word? I'm blanking on the word. Like I'm just like confident with it. Like I'm more confident with my music now than I ever been. You know, so now when I get on stage, it's like I know like, okay, nah, somebody's gonna feel this. Like I'm not so much like wondering anymore, you know. So me personally, even though like my numbers are super small compared to a lot of people out there, I feel like if there's a show or whatever, you can put me after anybody, before anybody, and my music, my shit is gonna be.
It's gonna hold its own.
It's gonna hold its own. I truly feel that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know that's how everybody's supposed to feel, you know? And I'm not even just talking about bars, like I'm talking about music, like the whole package, you know what I mean? I'm really starting to just like I'm gonna start talking my shit a little bit more, you know? Just like
there we go, bro.
Put it out there a little bit more, you know?
So do you got your next release planned?
Yes.
Anything coming up? I know you told me about that, so let's plug that.
Yeah. The next release is called B Rabbit. That should be coming out probably next week. I'm just waiting on the last little edit for the video, and then I'm just gonna drop that, and then that's gonna start the summer. That's gonna kick off the summer. I'm trying to like drop at least a video every month. You know what I mean? And then maybe some streaming shit too in between. But I'm super excited for this one. I'm super proud of it. I shot the video with my guy Zealous. He's also doing a lot of work out there in Toronto, so that's like just me trying to, you know, get a little bit of networking done out there.
There you go.
But he's a homie from back in the day, you know what I mean? We go way back also. So everything I do, it's always like a little bit, you know, tied in with the fam type shit. And I like to keep it organic and just like close, you know what I mean? I don't like just doing shit with people just for the numbers or just for the clout or whatever, you know? So I'm super excited for people to see that one, to see that song. It's kind of like I guess if it was like a trilogy of like nice things, visions, and this will be like the last, not to say it's the last, but it's like that one to cap off.
Pinnacle, yeah.
I think so. Just like it's in that same direction, in that same talking about, you know, what I want in the future, talking about where I come from and just wanting more in life and just putting away certain ways of looking at myself, or like, you know what I mean? It's just saying no more. The basic thing is no more B Rabbit. You know what I mean? Like we're not trying to look like that at a certain age. Like we're not trying to stay in that like mind state, or that like, you know what I mean? That energy. That, you know, like it was cool when we were, you know, teenagers or whatever. It's like, yeah, that's something I related to, but now it's like, okay, it's time to level up. It's time to, like, you know what I mean? So I just use that as like a metaphor for myself and for my music, and I'm looking forward to that one for sure.
Nice, fam. So yeah, we got a great up and coming artist from Laval here. I really appreciate the interview, bro. I think it went real well. I think we got into some points.
Man. It went quick, man. It went quick for real.
Yeah, I looked down at my time and I'm like, oh shit, bro, we're already past 9 o'clock. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
bro. Like I
So
said,
cool. Like, we
appreciate
can
the
chop it
interview.
up. We can chop it up forever. You know, like that's how it
Yeah,
is. I'm sure if we
exactly.
were in person, you know what I mean, it'd be nice to meet in person finally. Like, if we smoke one, we can be,
For sure.
chopping it
I'll,
up.
I'll I'll pull up to one of the shows this summer for sure. I've seen you in person before. I'm just like I pull up to shows and I'm a little more low key. Like I
Yeah.
say hi to the people I know, but I'm just kind of there.
Okay. Well, yeah. Hopefully
Yeah,
this summer, you know what I mean, we can link up in person and meet properly. You know what I
for
mean. But
sure.
I appreciate the look. I appreciate the love that you've been showing to the music and everything. So yeah, man. Much love to you, bro.
Nah, for sure. That's always how it's gonna be. It's been another episode of Montreal Connected. Everyone be on the tune for his next release coming up in the next couple of weeks.
Hey.
And go peep all his music. And like I said, he's a big up and coming artist out of Laval or Montreal if you don't know what Laval is. So I hope everyone enjoyed the interview and have a blessed night.
Yeah.
We love hip hop.